There's a scene in Monty Python and the Holy Grail where someone prematurely tries to declare a family member dead.
Says he's not dead.
Yes, he is. I'm not.
He isn't?
Well, he will be soon. He's very ill.
And that's all the basketball world has done to the Nuggets over the past 4 days. But Denver is still kicking, and they've made it a 2-1 series after a blowout win in Game 3. And the big question now is, have they solved this suffocating Minnesota defense? Recall that in Game 1, the Wolves executed a wonderful game plan where Rudy Gobert roamed off Aaron Gordon to protect the paint, while Minnesota also loaded up to Jokic's role after he set a pick. In Game 2, Gobert was unavailable because of the birth of his son, but Minnesota ramped up its defense in his absence and put on a clinic for the ages by hounding Denver into 16 turnovers. The Wolves' length and hands overwhelmed the Nuggets with an incredible 12 blocks and 11 steals, and that defense turned into easy offense on the other end for Minnesota. Denver compounded all this by unraveling emotionally, with Jamal Murray even throwing a heating pack toward an official, and so Denver's execution wasn't crisp as they bumbled into a 91 offensive rating, which actually understates their offensive sloppiness because all those turnovers hurt their defense. Murray was 3 of 18 in the game and looked like he was playing in quicksand for most of the night. He couldn't really get by anyone on a bum leg, lacked burst, and just dead-ended Denver's offense on a number of key possessions. But 3 days of rest seemed to really help his strained calf in Game 3, so he could actually turn the corner here and collapse the defense. Jamal had a little more burst back, which was huge for dealing with all that ball pressure and finishing vertically at the basket. And we saw this on the second play of the game, where he was a little shiftier attacking Anthony Edwards and then finished right into Gobert. So a healthier Murray can create a little separation around screens and then quickly rise and fire with that extra space. And all of a sudden, the Nuggets look like the Nuggets again by getting layups out of their two-man game. And note how Murray creates just a little separation, which sets up the Jokic screen. Cat doesn't want to leave him with all this space, so now Joker's free on the roll and it's tic-tac-toe. Here's another one where Murray's usual shiftiness helps him set up another big Jokic pick, and then we get that vintage shot making on the wing. And for someone who couldn't throw it in the ocean last week, suddenly his tough shot making returned in late clock spots, which has served as a nice backstop for the Nuggets offense when possessions break down late in the clock. So Murray's play changed everything, but the Nuggets were also far more careful with the ball. Anderson reaches on Jokic here, who was setting him up with a spin move. And remember, back in Game 2, the Wolves had success poking at that left hand on the back down dribble. So on Jokic's move against Kyle, he hesitates with the ball in his right hand to protect it, and it's 2 points instead of a turnover. Here it is again. Joker actually stops to complain, and Anderson flicks at the ball, but Jokic is ready and moving it away as he reaches, and this lets Denver's offense have a very Nugget-like possession. Basically, the Wolves now have to pay for double-teaming Joker like everyone else. He makes the right pass, KCP cuts through and keeps going, and the Wolves never quite recover in rotation. Even on a cross match, Edwards is hunting for that steal, but Jokic makes sure to protect the ball on the pass, and now he's just shooting fish in a barrel. So Denver's ball security helped its defense and let them dictate the terms of engagement like they normally do. And because Murray was functional again,
there's a big difference between mostly dead and all dead.
All of a sudden, the legendary Nuggets offense looked good. No double comes. Cat does something. Joker hits the open man. That scrambles the Wolves' defense, and there's no one left to block out Jokic on the putback. So this wasn't a game with big strategic adjustments, but there were small tweaks to grease the rails and attack Minnesota's weaknesses. They want to keep Gobert off Jokic, so they have Joker screen for Gordon, which creates a switch, and from there he can go to work in the post and draw free throws. Here's another lovely wrinkle. With Jokic initiating and Murray setting the screen in the backcourt, Jaden McDaniels doesn't want to leave him, and Gobert is hesitant to help, but Towns can't ever fully recover. They also ran some middle pick and rolls toward an empty side of the floor, basically preventing Cat from recovering to Jokic because there's too much space. Only that freed Jokic's role, and the Nuggets could play their game. There's another offensive rebound from scrambling the defense. And we actually saw this on an earlier play where having Murray come back toward that empty corner really stress tests the idea of the big man gluing himself to Joker. Here's another one with that empty corner spacing. Murray walks Anderson right into the screen, and that's an absurd pass to Jokic, and this time Naz Reid actually jumps out to the ball briefly, which lets Jokic roll free to score. And so now the best two-man game in the world was unlocked again, with Murray stringing out Jokic's defender and Nikola diming up teammates. And again, note how powerful those crushing Jokic screens are. So the next time down, they run the ball screen on the opposite side, and this is peak Murray, walking his man into another pick, then probing the baseline just to reverse it in. At this point, the Nuggets were rolling. They went to their flex offense action, and that buckled Cat chasing Jokic, so that's something to watch for later in the series. And the next time they set up a little three-man game with Jokic at the elbow, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope backdoors the overplay, that collapses the defense, and then Christian Brown's left wide open for three. And note that Gobert has to guard Brown here, who's a 37% three-point shooter in his career, so if he's roaming around, these players will take and make open shots. Heck, even Aaron Gordon has been firing them aggressively after game one, and while he shoots it in the low 30s, he's at least shot them confidently when he's open, which means his man might not always sit on his back cut when he's spotted up in the corner. Finally, at the end of the half, we got two possessions the Wolves want to avoid. First, Minnesota's defense scrambling around chasing all these shooters while the Nuggets work to find the perfect shot. And second, Gobert stretched way out on Jokic while the Nuggets backcut them to death in open space. So there weren't many big adjustments from game two, but there certainly were a lot of changes, and those changes reinvigorated a Nuggets offense that is organically filled with counters built around the deadliest two-man game on earth. And that's what makes the next few games so compelling. There still may be a big tactical move left to make, but otherwise this championship Denver offense is just staring down an incredible Minnesota defense and saying, we don't think you can really stop us. To support this channel, check out patreon.com/thinkingbasketball. That is the best way to directly support the Thinking Basketball podcast and these videos. Hope you enjoyed this one and that you are enjoying this wild series. And as always, I hope you're having a great day.